online, especially in Facebook groups, people will give you what you want, but not necessarily what you need. And it's true across the board with expertise. And I'm going to show you why it's important, if you're an expert or if you're getting advice from experts, that you make sure you dig deep enough to get what you need, not just what you think you want. Check it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you a simple example to describe exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'm going to kind of delve into some ideas on that. And obviously you can take from it what you may, but I find it pretty interesting and a crux of what's happening online a lot these days in terms of experts and their advice and what they're selling you and what they're not selling you. And really it lends to the idea of creating an offer instead of just a product. So I love full-time RV living. And if you saw my past video, I went and actually lived at a pop-up camp for over 30 days. Across the country and back, and it was pretty interesting. It was a lot of fun. Full-time RV living is a totally different experience. So here's the example. A lot of times full-time RVers run into the need for power, but what the power supply and what their RV needs can be often two different things. So for example, I have a 50 amp plug, but I'm going in and all they have is 30 amps. So what do? The easy answer is to get an adapter so that you can plug your 50 amp into that adapter and then that plugs into the 30 amp. But behind that question is all kinds of other things. So in answering the comments, here's what one person said. I just read through all the comments. Each one kind of answered the question, but only kind of. If you dive deeper into this question, you realize the individual seeking answers is really, really in need of help. What he's saying basically is that, yeah, you could get an adapter, but that's not going to be the end solution. In a stick and brick, everything works when you flip the switch or turn the item on. That is all you have to know in a stick and brick. However, RVers have to understand that they do not have unlimited power in their RV. The end conclusion, of course, is that in summary, RVers have got to understand the amps. As in how many amps are available, 50, 30, 20, 15. In addition, they have to understand how many amps they're drawing. At the same time, they have to keep their draw to less than the available amps. Seems pretty simple, but on the outset, the person who gets the adapter's not going to necessarily consider all that. They're not going to necessarily take the time to understand all that, and then they're going to run into problems. So how does this translate to the online world and internet marketing and all that? Because all those experts are doing pretty much the same thing. At this simple level, it's pretty easy to understand the want versus the need. But when you're looking at having a website where somebody says, I need some YouTube ads or I need Facebook ads. Okay, that's what they want, but is that what they really need? Because if you show them how to do, let's say, YouTube ads, and their offer doesn't work, they're going to fail. So they're going to have to go back to their offer. And part of their offer is to go back to their audience, their niche. Have they really gone through and set up everything, done the research, and then they solidly conclude that their offer is going to sell? Because until you know that the offer works and is going to sell, then why would you go and scale with ads? That's the same sort of thing you should be asking. When you put out a product, like let's say a website, the solution is you give somebody a website, but what problems are created when you give them a website? They have to get traffic to the website. They have to convert it. They have to know their analytics. There are a lot of things around the website. A website is only part of the solution. When you're looking at something even as simple as an adapter, you look at the problems that adapter creates. Product then would just be to sell them this adapter, but an offer would give them an ebook and tutorials on how to basically go through and measure and make sure when you're turning things on, you're not overly frustrated. When you look at the simplicity of that, of course, it totally makes sense. One of the best things you can do to stand out from your competition, though, is if you're going to be having a product, instead have an offer and build around it. Ask what problems is this product creating, and then create an offer around that, solutions that you're going to bundle with that product. In that sense, you'll be more closely aligned to giving people what they need rather than just what they want. So I thought it was kind of interesting. It gets, I think, at the crux of what's available, what a lot of people are telling you online. You get all kinds of advice in Facebook groups, you get all kinds of advice elsewhere, and you have all these products you can buy, when really they should be offers, or you have an expert who just sells you their offer because they can, rather than going deeper and really seeing if that's what you need first. Because a person may sell you their YouTube ad course, but until your offer is ready for that, you're going to lose a bunch of money with ads, and you're not going to understand what's going on, and it's going to be very frustrating. So it's great when you have someone who can sit there and say, okay, this is what you want, but what is it that you need? And when someone is really good, they'll do that for you. Of course, if you're the one creating an offer, remember to go back, and when somebody is going and wanting your offer, making sure they actually need it, or if they need to do something else before then. So you're actually taking care of them. Because if you don't, you're actually doing them a disservice by selling them your offer. You think you're doing great things by selling it to them, but if they're not ready to do YouTube ads, it's a great disservice to sell it to them. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a like. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.